To our day 2 lunch session. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our post-lunch speaker today, who is none other than Dr. Ritesh Kumar. Sir is an associate professor at Father C. Rodrigues Institute of Management and Studies, Vashi, Navi Mumbai. He is visiting professor at Institute of Rural Management, Anand, and Institute of Management Technology, Ghaziabad. Dr. Kumar completed his PhD in Management and Labor Studies from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. He completed MMS with specialization in Human Resources from University of Mumbai. Dr. Kumar read Modern History at Jawaharlal Nehru University. Dr. Kumar specializes in Human Resource Management, Organizational Behavior, and Leadership. His research and teaching are located at the intersection of critical management studies and management education. He believes in the interdisciplinary exchange of knowledge and draws insights from a wide range of disciplines, including management, gender studies, philosophy, sociology, political science, and history. He has mentored many students and guided postgraduate journals. His reviews for numerous world-leading high-impact journals in management, including Journal of Business Ethics, Organization and Equality, Diversity, Inclusion. He is a member of Academy of Management, Critical Management Studies Division. Currently, he is working on a collaborative research project along with global leading scholars from University of Bath and Indian Institute of Management, Kashipur. He has won a scholarship from Academy of Management, CMS Division, to attend the online AOM conference in the year 2020. With this, sir, we welcome you for our 6 days FDP program organized by St. Francis Institute of Management and Research in collaboration with MTC Global. Over to you, sir.
Uh, yeah, thank you so much, Natika Madam, for a very generous introduction and also giving me this opportunity to engage with your participants. It's always like interesting and exciting to engage with participants with new learning that can happen from both the sides, right? So once again, thank you so much for this opportunity. Can I share my screen, Natika ma'am?
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
you are right
perfect.
to share this.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just brief you about like what exactly I'm going to do in the session. At any point of time, you can please, in fact, you can ask me any question if you have in your mind. And apologies for the glitch with my video. I hope like once we will get into some exercise, we can rectify that particular issue. I'll switch on to a different laptop. With this, once again, thank you so much to the organizers and also to the participants for the 6 day FDP program. Uh, we all know that gamification is intensifying in most of the organizations, be it related to sales, customer engagement, uh, and also like at the same time, gamification has also touched upon the education sector. Now, one of the critical challenges for the academicians today is how to engage students. And I'm sure, like, often we ask this question, like, if we find that, classes are not engaging or students are not motivated enough to listen to us, or maybe like, they feel like, a little disengaged in the classroom, then what alternative mechanisms or tools we have as educators which can bring them back to the class, motivate them, and also engage them in more meaningful way. So gamification is like it's something which is evolving over the years, especially in the education sector. And the best part of like gamified learning is that it provides a platform, right? It provides a platform for how we can intrinsically motivate students, or we can track their progress, and also like we can provide immediate feedback. So I'm going to talk about a little about gamification, and then I'll show you some of the like very useful tools Also, like I'll be showing some simulation exercises, which I will be describing about like how one can go about using simulation to create a sense of competition among the students in the classroom, which again, like it's a good way to engage students. Uh, Now, a very basic, definition of like, what do we mean by gamification in education, which reads like that. Gamification in education involves integrating game elements, right? Such as points, badges, levels, leaderboards into learning experiences, in order to do what? To motivate students and enhance engagement. So if you can see, like, three things are being highlighted on this definition of gamification in education. One is like, how do we enrich the learning experiences of student? How do we motivate students? And how do we enhance the engagement level of the students in the classroom? Uh, Now there are like, there is something what we call as a game-based learning, which is again, it's a kind of a subset of gamification. It usually involves actual games or game-like activities to deliver educational content and facilitate learning. Now, we all know that as educators, we use different pedagogical tools, for example, like case study, role plays, we use simulation, slightly different than all the other pedagogical tools. Uh, and the idea is like, how do we create an educational content which not only facilitate learning, but which also makes a student find, doing the course interesting and exciting. And that is what is the purpose of like, the game-based learning. We do have like a lot of benefits of gamification. These are all theoretical, and post like, this I'll be engaging into exercises. So the benefits, like, one of the benefits is like, it allows, the learner to be, or learning to be more fun and interactive, right? We often see like, the students of like, Gen Z, uh, a very different, breed of generation, which doesn't like, lecture or perhaps, a regular mode or conventional way of teaching in the classroom. So the use of gamification can actually, can help the learning to be more fun based and interactive. And also like, because students, they find that mostly they have lack of, attention, or span of attention is very low. Hence, the gamification or game based, tools can help to engage them and also like, bring back their attention to the classroom. uh, we all know that most of the students, like especially the new generation, loves to play a lot of games, right? And some of them, like are addicted to different sort of games, which are readily available on their mobile phones. So gamification, it's something which can uh, which can be used to create an addiction to learning, right? And that's very important. uh, Third is like, it's an opportunity to see real world applications of learning content. For example, like I'll be showing you one of the Harvard Business Publishing education simulation on organizational design and structure. And we'll see like, how if we create a multiplayer team, how it can increase, in fact, a real world application of the concept, uh, for the students, and how students can make, meaning out of those real practical based application like simulations, which is again like, it's a gamified tool. It also help, in fact, the gamification also help in giving real time feedback. So one of the problems in management education is that if we give assignments to them, or presentations or group presentation, students often grumble about that they don't get real time feedback. Most of the time feedback is very generic, or the feedback is like, a little delayed or deferred. And the students also find that, okay, this is just, run of the mill kind of a story. The teacher is just giving us an assignment which has no meaning. So gamification can overcome such kind of like, feedback issues by giving a real time feedback to students, which again, like, it's something which students would always appreciate. Last is friendly competition, right? So gamification also fosters a sense of competition among the students, as it give opportunities that, that motivates both intrinsically and extrinsically to learn something. And that's something like, these are like, very important benefits of gamification. Uh, Now, I will show you like one of the Harvard Business Publishing Education simulation, first of all. And then we'll get into like, the next thing is like, we have n number of, gamification tools or gamified learning in fact, based activities. We'll get back to that later on. But first of all, I'll get you to an exercise on Harvard Business Publishing Education. Can I ask you, like, how many of you have the Harvard Business Publishing Education subscription? It's something which is, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, how many of you have this Harvard Business Publishing Education, login ID, or you have created some ID or account into it? If somebody can talk about it, like, if they have, are they aware of like, the Harvard Business Publishing Education account or not? Anyone? Natika madam, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Fine, fine. So I'll do one thing. I'll just open up the website for the Harvard Business Publishing, and then we can see the simulation exercise and how we can engage students in the classroom. So let's give you a moment. Fine. So I would request, everyone, maybe like not today, but later on, because it takes time for the validation of your email ID. So if you can see over here, I'm logged in into Harvard Business Publishing Education, right? I'm being shown over here as an educator. So anyone who's affiliated to a university, institution, organization can actually log in, can create, in fact, an account into Harvard Business Publishing Education. And there is an unlimited access to different course materials in Harvard Business Publishing Education. So I'm going to show you, like, there is one particular simulation that I use for my exercise. It's one as organizational design simulation involving structures. So
Sir, excuse me,
if you look
there
over
is some
here,
disturbance.
yeah,
Sir, there's
Sir,
some
your voice
disturbance in
is
your
breaking.
audio.
I think like network is might be an issue. Is it still coming up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Still,
it's-
your voice is breaking.
Okay, okay, okay. Just a moment now. But my this screen is visible right now.
You're still on the presentation, sir. I don't know if you're showing the demo. Your presentation is still on, not in full view. So if there's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
screen you're showing, that is not visible to us yet.
No, no. This is the only thing that is visible. In fact, perhaps there is a connectivity issue. My apologies for it. I will just try to, in fact, see that I'm audible to all of you. Can you see this page of the Harvard Business Publishing Education?
No.
No, sir. You're still on the presentation mode. I don't think you've done the share screen for the other one.
Just a moment. Just a moment. No worries. I'll just, in fact, switch on to screen mode. Is it visible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Now we
yes.
Now
can.
it's visible.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, what I was talking about is I would request all of you to create an educator account. It's generally, in fact, Harvard gives you an account, free account for almost 12 months. But you have to fill in the form, first of all, online. And you have to use your institutional ID. And it takes, some time to validate your institutional ID before, you can full-fledgedly start using this particular website, right? So I'm just going to show you this particular organizational design simulation. So those who are from HR background or those who have done even management, like I'm sure, like, must be aware of what is organizational design. So this is like, one of the simulation exercise. It can be, in fact, played by a single player or multiplayer. It includes everything like teaching note. It has a quick start guide. It has supplements and etc. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to do a free trial over here. I'll just click on this. Then it is prompting me to, manage the simulation. So choose a role, run simulation as a student. So I just click on this run simulation as a student. So it will take me to a different page. Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. So you will get a welcome message like this, which has two things. One is like you can view the tutorial, right? And second is like you can enter in the simulation. And you can see like over here on the top, you have certain buttons like tutorial, prepare, dashboard, and certain decisions, right? So if somebody is like new to this particular website, or somebody is using the tool for the first time, so the best practice is like one can get into like understanding the tutorial first of all. So you look over here, like you have the background of the case. For example, like this is like a case on the leadership team of a company, that's a hypothetical company called as EcoTrip, right? It's a travel website company that helps people booking hotels and resort stays, while they also find, in fact, carbon offsets equal to environment impact of your stay. And so the question is like, there is little, details given about the company, like what is this company about? What is this industry? It's a travel industry. I go to the next section. It shows me like, what is the challenge I have been given, right? So the challenge is like, uh, let's say like the students are entering into the simulation. So before giving this particular simulation exercise, one need to give them some basic understanding about organizational design. For example, like what are the organizational levers, let's say, something like boundary spanning, centralization, or maybe like, span of control, chain of command, right? And these are all, in fact, organizational levers. So let's say like if somebody is like, a student have to presume that they are the founder of EcoTrip, and EcoTrip is an organization which is trying to expand, right? They have certain products, but they want to expand. Now, what kind of decisions that students should make in terms of organization design? Should it be a functional structure, or should it be a divisional structure, or should it be a matrix structure? So on what basis, in fact, students are going to make the decisions, and what should be the impact of such kind of decision on the organization? So if a student takes a wrong decision in this particular game, then the student will not be allowed to, in fact, enter into the next stage, or they may be, in fact, disallowed to proceed in the further stages. And if the student is able to make the right decision, then they're allowed to go to the second stage and third stage. And there are certain outcomes visible to the student with respect to the decision that they have taken about the organization. So the challenge over here, this is round one. So it has series of rounds over here. So in the first round, it's reading like this. You are trying to improve your organization's performance and wanted to determine the best way of reaching those goals. You have grown from 5 to 50 employees. And as you continue to grow, you consider some changes to your company. Your customers are primarily located in North America, and your goal is to prioritize their needs and provide them with top quality experiences across the globe. What will you do to increase the health of your company and meet your customers' need more efficiently? So this is a challenge being thrown to the student in the form of like, in a form of like, round one, right? Where a student has to engage with the challenge, which is that the company is growing from an employee size of 5 to 50. And the company is actually catering primarily to the North American customers. And their idea is that, the goal is how to prioritize the quality and experiences across the globe, and also like, how to increase the health of the company by meeting the customers expectations more efficiently. So this is a challenge which comes through the tutorial. And if you look over here, there is a dashboard. So the dashboard would have, something like this. It's a kind of a snapshot. So the snapshot is about the company, like organization structure, what is company's climate, the people, like, is there a voluntary turnover because of the decisions taken by the CEO of the company or the founder of the company? Then there is a process, like how much, like, rapidly you understand the market, how do you change your products according to the needs of the customers in the market, how your decisions actually impact your finances in terms of like your revenues, your cost, your profitability, your market share, and etc. And also, like, the stakeholders, for example, like what is the customer retention rate, uh, then you have the net promoter score exercise. Next. Now, this is like, the challenges. So this is round one, and you will be given certain brief information about the company, and then you have to take certain decisions with respect to your decision about the change that you want to make in the organization, right? I'll show you later on, but first I'm just running through the tutorial. So once you move on to the exercise, you will find that the buttons are getting clicked over here, and your decisions would get saved in the database, right? So there's the next thing about span of control, right? So this is like, tutorial that you can undertake before teaching to a student in the classroom, or maybe like you can also expose the students while you're running this particular simulation in the classroom. So I will just start the simulation. Is it visible? Can anyone tell me, is it visible?
Yes, it is visible, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So you can see over here, the name of the simulation exercise is Automation Design Simulation Involving Structures, right? You have the background information of the company on the left-hand side. In the middle, you have the company, which is called as EcoTrip. Then you have the industry, which is like, it's an online travel agency, which is majorly operating into travel industry. Now, then I go to the reveal your challenge. Just a moment. So I think I've not deleted the database which I've used for the last time, right? That's the reason it's showing that you have successfully moved to a functional structure. So one thing you also need to, keep in mind that if you have run this particular simulation exercise, then, this particular exercise needs to be deleted from the database. Just give me a moment. I'll just quickly delete this. So I go to manage simulation. Now you can see, like, simulation setup is given over here. Then you have the results is given over here. So what I will do, then you have the class summary, right? Then you have the facilitators material. So I'll just, in fact, make some changes to this. I will delete the data set. So over here, you can see like, this the last time when it was played was fine, perfect. So you can see over here, a new run has been created. I'll just click on this. I can use multiplayer, or a single player. So right now I'm using a single player, right? You can choose the number of players like one, two, three. So maybe like, you can create teams out of it. Uh, and if you click on teams, like you can also choose number of teams like one to three. The same is like with the single player, right? And then I click on start new run. So I just click on the start new run, close. I go to manage users and teams. Right, you can see over here, student login is over here, status. Right now, simulation status is given closed over here. So what I can do, I can open this. Right, I can save settings. Done. Right, and then I go back to this. Then I run our simulation again. Am I audible now perfectly?
Yes, sir.
All right. I hope you guys are following me, whatever I'm doing on the screen. Right. Now we have come to this. So you have seen like, what I did, in fact, because I had an archive into this, I had used this particular simulation, and that's the reason it was not allowing me to proceed in the simulation exercise. So I need to, in fact, archive those files, delete, in fact, and rerun, make it open, and hence students will be able to make use of the simulation. So I enter the simulation, right? I go to reveal your challenge. Now I have this particular challenge. Now you will help me with this. Somebody who's familiar with automation design and etc. So the question over here is, you are trying to improve your organization's performance and want to determine the best way to reach those goals. You have grown from 5 to 50 employees, and the streaks in this growth are showing. Cost per transaction are increasing. The volume of transactions per employee is decreasing, and your employees are making more mistakes because they have too many different types of tasks, but not enough time to focus on a few to excel at them. Your customers are primarily located in North America, and the large majority are asking for standardized travel packages. Your goal is to prioritize their needs and provide them with top quality experiences across the globe. What will you do to increase the health of your company and meet your customers' need more efficiently while effectively handling a high volume of transactions? Right. So basically, how do we make organizations more efficient? That's like the question that is being given to us. And how do we, in fact, reduce the cost of transactions? So that goes to the transaction cost theory, which we often teach in economics and also in human resource management, right? So reduce, the volume of transaction, uh, and how do we make employees, make less mistakes while they are engaging at the work? So let's say like I challenge, I accept this particular challenge. Now I can see that
Ritesh sir, hello. I guess sir has some network issue. Sir is not connected. Let me see.
Natika ma'am, am I audible to you? I'm so sorry. There is some connection
Yes
issue
sir. Yes
over
sir. We
here.
can hear you.
Am I
Yes sir.
audible to you, ma'am?
Yes sir.
Can anyone
Hello.
audible?
Yes sir. We can hear you.
Hello?
Hello. Yes sir. We can hear you.
Okay, okay. Wonderful, ma'am. Fine.
We
I
are.
don't know where did I lost the connection.
You are sharing your
I'm so
screen,
sorry,
but
ma'am.
we.
There is some connectivity issue over here.
Yeah, yeah. Sir, not a problem.
Is the screen visible?
Yes sir.
Perfect, perfect. So this is like, round one. And if you can see over here, we have a snapshot of the organization. So currently the organization, like, April 2020, organization is structured. It's an informal organization. Number of employees is 50. The goals are given over here. Then you have some description about the people, about the voluntary turnover in the organization. Then you have something about the finances. The finances of the company is like $11 million, right? Then you have this customer retention rate is 5%. Then you have the process of like speed to market and etc. So this is the basic information given to you, and then you have the challenge was given to you, like what you would do if your employee size increases from 5 to 50, and provided that you have to reduce the transaction cost, you have to make your employees more engaged, you have to increase the performance of an organization. So what kind of like change that you will make to your organizational design? So let's say I put this challenge for the student to make a decision. Now, the student have to read this certain things which is given over here. For example, like select the organizational structure that you would like to create. For example, like create departments like finance, sales, marketing, HR, product operations, or create departments which are like inbound accounting, outbound accounting, web sales, ad sales, HR training, product management, product development, advertising B2B or advertising B2C, or create departments like finance Asia, or finance Europe, right? So this is geographical, in fact, structure that we're talking about, like finance America, sales Asia, sales Europe, sales America, product Asia, product Europe, product Americas, and etc. Or maintain a flexible structure. So who will help me with this? So what do you think, like, what should be the department like? Anyone can volunteer? Please feel free. There is nothing
Uh,
right or wrong.
it should
Only
be a
decisions
matrix.
could be, in fact, wrong. Yes.
It should be a matrix organization. I'm not sure any of these will actually fit.
Pardon, sir? Okay, so let's say I click on the departments. So departments like finance, sales, marketing, HR, production, operations, because it's a startup company, and we need something like a functional structure. So let's say like I save my decision. Right. Now, next it is asking me that this is a question. All of you can also read, along with me. So the extent to which organizations centralize or decentralize decision making varies widely. In top-down organization, decision making is centralized. Senior managers make virtually all the decisions about how an organization operates. Give lower level managers and employees little input into these decisions and expect them to implement their directives without question. In highly centralized organizations, lower level managers and employees have much more latitude to decide how to act in areas of their expertise, such as how to treat a dissatisfied customer or whether to launch a new product or not. So as you move into more functional structure, select the degree of centralization that better impacts vertical coordination by influencing the amount of decision making that will be done at the upper and lower levels. In each row, check all people who would be allowed to make decisions. There may be multiple selections in each row. So, for example, we all know that and so obviously I choose top management would be responsible for it. Then I have products. What new products should be add to your site? So let's supervisors would be um, accountable for it, and then implementation would be individual contributors, right? So let's say this is my decision that I have done as a student, right? And then what I need to do is I need to save my decision over here, right? So I move on to the next phase. You can see I'm moving from 1 to 2 to 3 and to next is like the 4 one. Then you have a question related to work specialization. So for example, effective organizations are able to divide work into tasks, duties, responsibilities among the members, linked with their different expertise. A lot of the decisions for work specialization have to do with training, education, experience. As the organization grows, you need to figure out who should be doing what. Keep in mind that the job for a vice president is probably very different than the job of an individual contributor. So, how specialized should your employees be? Select up to two options. And you've been given, in fact, a few options over here. For example, like the first one is employees are expected to deepen their knowledge and skills in their specific job function training in order to reduce errors and increase. So this is something what we call as the division of labor, perhaps, right? Then you have employees who are formally trained to be experts in the field. Then employees are cross-trained and free to change their task as the need arises. Then the fourth is employees are required to work in small project teams with less clarity of expectations and increasing individual accountability, but allowing for flexibility in job functions. And finally, employees are permitted to decide uh, what job functions they would like to perform, and it is up to managers to decide whether they would best fit into teams or not. So, what do you think? What options could be chosen over here, or what decision you would like to make if you were a student in the classroom? Anyone? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Deepen their knowledge, option one. Okay, wonderful. I'm getting some responses in the chat box. That's wonderful. So somebody said deepen knowledge. That's very important. Yeah. Somebody's saying option five. Option five, employees are permitted to decide what job function. But this is an organization which is more of a functional structure, right? So in functional structure, it is very difficult to have such kind of design for the organization. right? Even number four, for example, would be difficult for a functional structure because there is no project teams. They're working like, one particular single product. So we don't have the concept of project teams over here. So let's say like, I choose this particular first two, right? So employees need to be trained into their expertise areas or field, and employees are expected to deepen their knowledge, right? Based on the input some of you have given, and I save my decision, right? Now, the question is like span of control. uh, there is a limit to how many subordinates. So we know the span of control is like, how, certain number of people would be assigned to a manager, right? So we have narrow span of control, we have wide span of control in organizations. So there is a limit to how many subordinates a manager can realistically supervise. Work such as giving directives, providing constructive feedback, assessing performance, or assuring training development opportunities has to be carefully planned and coordinated. The growing departments are creating a challenge for new managers as they simply do not have the time needed to oversee their direct reports. Uh, Move the slider to decide an average number of individuals should be under the supervision of a manager at each level of the organization. So we know that the organization is not very complex. We have just the employee size is just 50. So let's like choose for example like four as span of control, right? Because the organization is still not very complex, and we don't need to, in fact, widen the span of control over here. Rather, it should be narrow. And let's say like we choose four as the span of control. I save the decision over here. It can be done in teams also. So different students would be sitting with different laptops, right? And you can make teams, and they would be making their own decisions, which would be finally seen in one window. Now, it is asking me to submit all decisions. Now, what I do, I submit all my decisions. So it's prompting me that, are you sure you're ready to submit? Yes. Okay, so it's round one completed successfully. This is what is the prompt given to me. You have successfully moved to a functional structure. It is now 6 months later, and you will notice that some but not all of your metrics have improved. Although you have moved to a new and better structure, this is no perfect solution. Okay, got it? Right? So if you look over here, our goal 66% goals has been achieved. Voluntary turnover is 2%. Uh, Finances is like $14 million. Your customer retention rate has improved to 6%, right? So we can see like, there are some visible changes to the organization, and whatever decision that we have made in this particular simulation exercise, we can see the impact in different areas, for example, like organization structure, goals, company climate, your finances, your people, your process, your stakeholders. Am I clear till this point? Or do you have any query?
We
Hello?
request everyone to please respond.
Pardon, ma'am?
No, I was asking the participants to respond to your question.
Sir, how do we know that this is the optimal decision that we have reached?
So, sir, decision, whenever you make a decision, it will give you a prompt. So this is the result given over here, right? So whatever decision you will make, it will show you the result for the round one. And it will read something like this: you have successfully moved to a functional structure. Depending upon like, whatever decisions that you have made for the four questions that was given to you, right? And then it will say like, it is now 6 months later, and you will notice that some but not all of your metrics have improved. So whatever decisions that you make in this particular simulation exercise, it will yield certain kind of a result, and the result can be seen on the dashboard as.
It is using predictive analysis, sir.
Pardon? So can you please repeat your question? It's a simulation which is generally developed by coders and creators, right? And they use certain analytical tools or algorithms within this, uh, based upon like the interactive user who uses it. and whatever decision that the person makes, it automatically, in fact, captures or captivates the thing, and it gives you certain results. So these are all coded. We need not, in fact, get into this, because this is something which is already coded or programmed from the educators and the coders. And these are these are the best simulation exercises available, which is widely taught, in fact, in different business schools or in management courses or programs. Right. So you're right in some sense, it's already, in fact, embedded with certain predictive analytics or, the algorithms. And the basis of on the basis of whatever responses we give, it gives us a result. I hope that answers your question, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Right. So I'll just quickly get into round two. And if you can see over here, now we have moved from, the first year to sixth year. And the challenge over here is 6 years later, the company has grown rapidly and has impressive profit margins. There are about 600 people. So if you recall, in fact, in the previous challenge, we have 5 to 50. Now in this round two, we have 600 people. Your success has, however, triggered increased competition. So the company is more successful now, and there is more intense competition to this particular company. So market data suggests that competitors are copying your business model, which usually happens if we don't have the entry barriers in a business, then obviously, the business would be replicated or it would be modeled by, the other businesses in the organization or maybe in the environment, right? So the market data suggests that competitors are copying your business model of environmentally sustainable locations and experiences. Feedback from customers is emphasizing the desire for more local feel and information. So there is certain feedback that the company has got that that they would have to like to have more, in fact, local feel of the product and etc. We opted to go with the competitor. They seem to know more about local stuff, local people, what adventures we could enjoy. Yet, EcoTrip has responded slowly to competition. Communication between departments takes a long time and often involves considerable disagreement about whose interest should win out. Further, many employees do not seem to feel a sense of urgency about changes in the market. Instead, they feel point to the departmental performance reviews as evidence that they are doing their jobs well. You wonder whether reorganization might help the company resolve this challenge. So, what happens with the functional structure when an organization keeps on growing, uh, and when you have people who have become more experts, they oftenly find their roles to be performed in silos. They don't want to, in fact, exchange ideas or information, or they don't want to share communication with other departments and etc. And hence it creates a lot of organizational discontent. So how do we resolve this? It means that if the organizational size, actually the number of size of employees, it can impact the organization's strategy. It can impact the organization's staffing. It can impact the organization's other aspect like structure and etc. So McKinsey 7S framework is what I'm referring to. So you have a typical problem like when organizations start growing, and hence organization needs to be reorganized. So again, it's prompting you to make certain decisions. So we have decisions related to departments. Would you like to change your structure of departments, keep the same departments, finance, sales, marketing, HR, product operations? Or you can split products like marketing and sales department into business travel, customer travel, or luxury travel. So you're increasing actually, the products, right? Now you're going from a single product to multiple products, which could be sales department, business travel, customer travel, luxury travel, or it could be split product into marketing, sales department into America division, Europe, Asia divisions, or go back to more flexible structure, eliminate department. So we need to take a decision. So somebody can help me with what decision you want to take. So somebody has asked me, do students also need to make their accounts on this? Yes, but the account validation will take you almost 48 to 72 hours. So once you have this particular account, details and etc. And then you can become, in fact, a registered member for the Harvard Business Publishing Education. Normally, the account would be valid for almost 12 months, and Harvard would prompt you to renew your account because it wants to ensure that you're still an educator affiliated to a particular university or institution, right? So I can see that some people are responding like options 2 to 3 and etc. Multiple responses are given. Thank you for your prompt response. So now we cannot have the same functional structure product, right? Marketing like sales department, business travel. So we are just trying to increase, in fact, the bucket for the product rather than going into geographically expanding into different markets. I mean, a marketer would not take a risk of like, making geographical expansion without actually creating the product. So let's say like, we choose number two, right? And I save my decision over here. Okay, so round completed unsuccessfully. It's saying that your market needs are not encouraging you to split by way of customer type, right? Choosing this resulted in decreased customer satisfaction, profit, and job satisfaction. Consider how you might rectify this moving forward 6 months having passed, and you have the opportunity to review your snapshot metrics and make new choices for your company. Okay, let's say like we selected something wrong, right? And it showed like okay, fine, there is some problem with whatever you have chosen. So it is telling us like that okay, fine, we are allowing you to go to the next round, and you can see like certain goals have changed over here. For example, like the goals like 80% goal we have achieved. Our revenue has increased, in fact, to a certain extent, like $112 million. Voluntary turnover has increased like from 2% to 10%, right? Customer retention has grown from 6% to 9%, right? So this is a result that it's giving to me, and then it's prompting me to go to round three. So I accept the challenge. Now 6 months have passed, so it's saying me that 6 months have passed. As you saw, your previous structural changes have not resulted in the increased performance, which means that some decision was taken which was wrong, right? You were hoping for, and you failed to transition to a divisional structure. What will you try next? Challenge accepted, right? I'll go to make decisions. Now it is again showing me over here 6 months has passed now after 6 years. So what product marketing sales department into Americas division, Europe division, and Asia division, right? And let's like we also select this particular like number three option. We save the decision. Now it is moving me to the next stage, which is like centralization, right? So your key performance indicators, which is KPI, suggest that your employees are increasingly disengaged as their work has become too routine, right? Some employees quote, "I miss the days when I could make some decisions by myself around here. Why do I need to wait for instructions from headquarters when my boss and I know the best action to take?" You're also thinking about how to better address customer needs. You clearly need to change things here. But how? Select the degree of centralization that better impacts vertical and geographic coordination by influencing the amount of decision making that will be done at the upper and lower levels. Now we have to make certain decisions over here. So who will take this strategic decision, for example? So often strategic decision is taken by the top management, right? You can prompt me. If you want, you can prompt me your decisions. I can wait for your decisions. I hope this is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in each row, check all people who would be allowed to make these decisions. There may be multiple selections in each row. All right, I got the Two by regional heads. Wonderful. New products and services. Let's say we choose this. Right. Very good. Thank you so much. That's interesting. And let's say we choose existing products. These two, right? Supervisors and individual contributors. Now I'll go back to this save my decision. Now it is asking me about work specialization. So effective organizations are able to divide work into tasks, duties, and responsibilities among their members. That's a basic definition of work specialization, linked with the different expertise, right? But now we have a geographic structure. We don't need such expertise as such, but we need a cross-functional team. A lot of decisions for work specialization had to do with training, education, experience. As the organization grows, you need to figure out who should be doing what. Keep in mind that the job for a vice president is probably very different than the job of an individual contributor. So how specialized should your employees be? Select up to two options. So you can read it and you can tell me. Okay. Someone is saying like 5, 1, and 2. Okay. So let's say like, we are choosing this over here. Right. And we save our decision. So like, hypothetically, we are taking over here because the number of employees have grown in the organization. So obviously, the span of control would widen. So let's like we choose, in fact, 8 over here and we save our decision. Then there is a question of boundary spanning. Now, this is a concept like, I was talking about. So as organizations grows in complexity, you're becoming aware of some communication challenges both between the geographic divisions and within each division. You over here, Aria, a project manager who has been with the company 3 years, expressing frustration that she has little contact with other project managers and is having a hard time finding a mentor to help her deepen her knowledge and further her career. Right now, this is a problem which is given to us. A few weeks later, you compare man hours spent in similar projects, one based in Europe, which is in the future Europe division, and one in Asia, in the future Asia division, and find that Europe division spends nearly 3 times as many man hours as the Asia division. You decide to establish, boundary spanning positions. So boundary spanners add empowerment, right? Knowledge flow, learning, build a sense of like team-based culture between divisions, uh, which can help you to improve KPIs. Yet boundary spanning is expensive and requires new skills and open-minded work culture. Select what boundaries are more relevant to break at this point and allocate budget to recruit and train boundary spanners. So boundary spanners role would be like, how people actually in organization, like, engage into communication, engage into knowledge flow, or they empower, in fact, each other, engage in a sense of like, team-based culture and etc. This is all called as boundary spanning. For example, like, let's say I'm working for a particular product in a particular division. I may, in fact, work for my division, but at the same time, I can contribute to other divisions because there is a cross learning, right? So often boundary spanners would do in this organization. So it's very important that when the complexity of organization grows, the boundary spanning principle, this is again a theory, and this is how we practically use it for organizations. So we need to recruit people who are boundary spanners who can, in fact, who can empower people, who can work in team between divisions, who can in fact, create a knowledge flow, who can in fact, do cross learning, who are open minded and etc. Right. So Think about your change in department structure to decide how to allocate boundary spanning. Select two. So anyone can tell me? Vertical and B2B, somebody is prompting me. All right. Okay, so let's say we are choosing horizontal, and I'm just hypothetically taking over here. Somebody is saying vertical. All right. So we are taking, let's say, like instead of horizontal, let's say vertical. I'll go by your choice, and let's save this particular decision. Now it is telling me to submit all my decisions. So I submit my decision. It's prompting me, are you sure you are ready to submit? I say yes. Right. I think like the simulation has concluded and company is in a divisional structure. Now you can see like, we have moved from what? We have moved from a functional structure to a divisional structure. Now, it is also saying me at the same time, you did not make enough appropriate changes to end up in a matrix structure, right? So it was looking at like, that the organization should move from, in the second round, it should have moved to a divisional structure, which, deliberately I didn't do so in order to show you that, how decision making can impact your organization, right? So in round two, we could have moved to a divisional structure. And in round three, we have moved to a matrix structure, which would have given us a realistic, outcome in the real world in the organization. So, okay, I just click on, okay, I got it. The simulation has concluded and your company is in a divisional structure, right? And this is what has happened. So our goal is 76%. Voluntary turnover is like 7%. If you remember last time, it was $112 million. Now the business has moved to $174 million. It is still making in fact a profit. Customer retention rate has, slightly improved, I would say, right? So this is what is in fact, the result of the exercise that we have done, right? And as I indicated earlier, it could be played by single players, number one, two, three, or it could be played by multiple players like, one, two, three. You can create teams also, right? So I can teach, in fact, my students something about organizational structure, what decisions they need to take, or organizational design, and how it can impact a particular business. Am I clear to you? Am I audible? Okay, all right. Now I'll do one thing. I'll just go back to now my simulation one, and then we'll see that, how the dashboard actually, what results are being shown over there. So I'll go to manage simulation again. And I can see the results over here. I can see the class summary. So I'll just show you the result. Right? So this is what, in fact, the result is shown over here. So if you recall, in fact, round one functional, round two also we chose functional. That is where the mistake was done. And round three is divisional, right? So I can view it also right? So you can see over here, all these details are given over here. I can go to round one. Or right, so details are given over here. So I can copy these details also for myself, right? Then I need to see the class summary. So if you look over here, uh, all the information is given over here. So for example, like students, round one, right? Round two, right? There was a problem like, in round two and round three, like, what ideally it should happen, right? So functional, divisional, and matrix, right? Now this is the responses like, phase one, phase two, phase three, because I had used, in fact, one student. Then student responses over here, right? According to phases like department, centralization, work specialization, span of controls, and etc. So since I chose only one student, also hence I got this class summary, right? So you can see over here, I just put it number 4. It's not allowing me. So you can see like, simulation has started on, this was like, the last one, I think, that I did, in fact, in March 2023. I don't know why it is not allowing me to go to the fourth number. Just a moment. Let's go back once again. I'm sorry, my net is so slow today. Thanks for your patience. Right. So this is what I've shown to you, like, uh, number 4. That is what we did, in fact, today, right? Uh, so these are like, the responses of different grounds that we got engaged into, right? So all those results are given over here, and this is what we were wrong in round two. So it's giving the feedback to us, right? In round three, this is what is the result. So this was work specialization was incorrect, boundary spanning was incorrect, right? So this is showing me all the details. So it is giving me feedback. So you can see over here, it is giving me feedback. I can see like, the different, in fact, responses that we have given, and what decisions we have made in this particular exercise. So this is one way that you can engage students by running simulations. But before running a simulation, one caution should be exercised, which is uh, some form of like, theoretical or conceptual understanding must be embedded into the students so that they understand what exactly they are going to do, right? If you straight away put them into simulation and tell them like, we are going to do an organizational design simulation, they may not be able to relate with like what is boundary spanning, what is work spatialization, what is centralization, what is departmentalization, or span of control. So a little bit of theoretical understanding is extremely important before taking up or exercising such kind of simulation in the classroom. And then finally, you can share the feedback, or students will on their own can see the feedback. And the caution is that, this I have, we educators have an account, but students need to buy such kind of simulations. So there's a cost to such kind of simulations. If you want to show it for the sake of like making them understand how simulations work, then it is fine. Otherwise, Harvard would appreciate if students can buy the simulation exercise, and the cost is mentioned over here, something like $8 to $10 perhaps, for per student, right? Practically may not be possible. So sometimes people use it, in fact, just showing as like, as a teacher, we can show them the simulations. But if you really want to have an engaging classroom, then you need to buy such kind of simulations and engage with the students and give them like, real-time feedback on the decisions that they have made. Am I clear to up to this point? Wonderful. So once again, I'll request all of you to please create your account, right? And use it very wisely. Just go through the copyrights, of Harvard Business Publishing Education, right? And then you can make use of such kind of simulations. So this is one thing like, which is very engaging. And I find that, when I run such kind of simulations, there are more simulation exercises in different areas, operations, finance, marketing, HR and OB, and etc. That you can find through, Harvard Business Publishing Education, and the students find it very interesting. So rather than teaching them through slides or PowerPoint presentations, uh, one can in fact, directly engage into such kind of simulation exercises, which students I have seen like, find it very meaningful, and they respond to it, right? Which otherwise in a different situation they would not do so. Then we have, gamified based learning, applications or gamified learning tools. We have Edmodo, we have Kahoot, we have Classcraft, we have Quiz, we have Prodigy, we have Duolingo, we have Code.org. So I'll just, in fact, demonstrate one of it. You can side by side. You can also, in fact, run this particular one of the, in fact, gamified learning based tool. You can work along with me, right? So I'm just going to work on quiz. So let me just, go to Google page. Let me type quizzes over here, right? So if you see over here, quizzes has come over here. Can you see my screen? I hope we are
Yes, sir.
seeing the same
Yes,
screen.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
From non-sources such as oil, coal, and natural gas.
All right, perfect. So you can also, meantime, you can also open this particular web page. Just click on this. So it will prompt you to, in fact, create some quiz, right? You have to create an ID first of all. And once you create your ID, just let me know if you're able to create the ID, right? already have an ID. That's the reason it has directly took me to the main page, right? So meantime, you can just create your ID and just try to come to this particular page. So please prompt me once you are on this particular page, the home page of quizzes. Do let me know when. Okay, fine. So somebody's already done. All right. So if you look over here, you have, some quick actions given over here. Access the most frequently used features instantly. Create a gamified quiz. Make your slides interactive. Try AI Studio, which is an artificial intelligence based studio, right? Then you have the templates given over here, for example, like employee onboarding, you have compliance training, sales, security, and different things are given over here. You have some videos related to it, to how do you actually make your videos more interactive, right? Then how can you use, in fact, artificial intelligence also? So this is something which is very interesting because, many students are very curious about how AI can be, and as educators also, we are curious about how AI can be incorporated into, the gamified learning activity, right? So let's say, like, I create a quiz over here, right? And I just click on this particular button called as create quiz. Right? And it's showing me, like, add a new question. You have an untitled quiz. I can, title the quiz, let's say, like, HRM, right? I can choose my language. Uh, is it restricted or is it like publicly visible? So I make it like publicly visible. I can use the cover page for it. I can save it, right? So I just click on save. Name should be at least 4. So let's call us HRM. I call it as like IHRM, right? And I save it. So you can see, like, the it has been saved over here, IHRM. So I can go for multiple choice. I can go for polls. There could be interactive instructions like text and questions, slides, interactive video, word cloud, fill in the blank, right? Then you have, like, gather participant responses, draw video response, open-ended audio response. So there are different forms of, like, response gathering is also there. Let's, like, we use something like poll, for example, right? Let's say, like, I type a question that gamification is about learning with fun and interaction, and it motivates and enhances learning performance of an individual. Right? So I've just written something over here, right? Then I can use, in fact, type poll option over here. So poll option is like, let's say, it could be single choice, it could be multiple choice, right? So if I use single choice, let's say, like, I use it like, let's say, fun and interaction. It's boring and demotivation, right? Dull and I use the word nits and nonsense, right? Or type poll for something like, motivates. That's it, right? Or saving the file, right? Or I can click on multiple option, right? And I can save this I can add an answer explanation also, right? So it's like, gamification is more about learning with fun and uh, motivation, right? Or maybe like interaction, right? So I my answer also it's same answer explanation, right? And then I can say if like you can have like okay, so this is like if you add this in the quiz you can have a lot of points, right? You can time also goal for example like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever like let's say 20 seconds and save question. And I can also, in fact, send this particular quiz to people, right? I can use also like, AI, for example, like if you can you see over here, AI interactive videos are shown over here. You have quick actions, translate language, add answer. So all these options are given over here. So you can also use like question type is not supported by Quiz AI because I'm not using the full-fledged version of it, right? You can import from quiz library and you can give it to the students and then they can in fact answer to this particular poll for example, right? So you can publish it for example, right? So let's so I can share this. So I need to create a team for it, right? So create a team. uh, you need to in fact name the team, let's say like training program or workshop, right? Can somebody give me email ID so that I can share it with the team, especially people who have created an account into quizzes? Can you please share your email address? Hope I'm audible to you. Wonderful. So I got one. If I can have more, then it should be great. Copy. So just allow me some time. I'm just adding you people. So you can see like, all those who I'm adding, like, it's showing me, prompting me that added successfully. Copy. Add. Then I have more people. Copy. So you're using 5 by 5 seats. So it's telling me to, upgrade. So I'll just, restrict to this view and create a team. share. So I have the option of like can view and edit. So I don't want my team members to edit it, so they can only view. Can you please check if you have received an email? If yes, then just let me know. So I've sent it to Lata, Shefali, Santosh, and Suvarna. Please check your email ID. Just let me know if you have received any mail. Okay,
Yes,
there
sir.
was some, I think like somebody has told me, yes, received. So, Varna, you have received a mail, then you can just respond to it.
Yes, I have received the mail.
Yeah, yeah. So I think like those who have given the wrong ID may have some problem. So you can just respond to it.
Okay.
So you can see this is a restricted version, like, limited version, rather we would say. So current plan allows 30 participants per session. Or if your institution is able to buy, something like this, it can have, number of participants can be increased. Madam, are you able to respond to the poll?
Yes.
Okay, fine, fine. I can also add collaborators from here, right? So I can, I can connect to my colleagues. I can collaborate with other people. I can share this with other instructors. Let's say like two people are sharing this particular course. Let's say two teachers teaching this course on human resource management, and they want to create some kind of a poll. The two divisions is taught by one teacher, another two division is taught by another teacher. So how do you share or collaborate your resources? That is also possible by adding collaborators. You have library, you have AI studio. So AI, I'll show you later on, in fact, how AI can help us. Or if you've not received, email, I've not included everyone. It was just to demonstrate you, right? Uh, because there is a restriction to a number of people that I can send emails. Some emails are wrong, so then we have to redo it. So Varna, are you able to do it?
Yes, I have reached to the level that you are showing right now.
Okay, okay, wonderful.
I'm not able to edit, so I can only view.
Okay, just a moment. Can you check now?
Yeah, okay.
Or let me just reshare it again, right? With an option to edit. I'm just removing some of the people and then recreate the team. Let me pull out few email ID. No worries, no worries. Just a moment. I'll help you out with login and etc. Don't worry. Piyush, I'm using your email address, right? Just remember. Okay, I need to remove first of all the other one. And I need to create. Sorry, it's not allowing me because I've already edited it. Okay, let me try it with another thing. Just a moment. I'm just creating a quiz over here. Multiple choice. Okay, can I use gamification as about motivation? Motivation, learning, and fun and interaction. I use multiple options. So I click on this. There are certain limitations with, as you can see, like, we were struggling with, the deleting part of it. So there's some limitations to when you use, in fact, an unpaid version. So I'm not titled the quiz over here. So let me title it. Let me try to publish it. Otherwise, we'll use some other method. So you can see over here, it's a multiple choice. Question 1 point, and 45 seconds. So obviously you can edit those things. You can make it like, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. So you can also like, assign this particular, assignment. So it could be self-study assignment or compliance training. But that require, some kind of primary settings, for example, like set, session start time, deadline, require participants to log in, set participants, user names, and etc. So those things are there. Then there's a gamification over here. So you can use like, power ups. So you can give bonus points, for example, so leaderboard on participant devices. So you can just switch on all these things. Background music, if there is any background music, if there are any memes attached to a particular question, or generate virtual names and etc. And then you have assessment like, skip questions, attempt later. So obviously you can use, in fact, all these options over here: redemption quiz, reattempt quiz, extra life, and active questions, and etc. Right. So this could also be done. In fact, it could be given as part of like, gamification also. You can default, time setting can be no deadline, for example, uh, s- unlimited. You can just limit, in fact, to one, right? Um, Show correct answer after on. Then gamification is like, power ups and etc. So let me just try this out. So I need to create a group. Say SFIMAR is one group. Add people via emails. So let me give some emails. So I'm just adding here a few people. Please pardon me, I cannot add everyone because this is demo one. So these are the names that I've added. Please check your email IDs. So I have added you. Can you see that if you have gotten an email notification? So you can see over here, I have Brunalini, Tanya, Rakesh, and Piyush, right? These are the names over here. So this is the gamification running. And this is like a quiz that I've given to them. So once they, get the quiz, please log in. Can you please log in? Tanya, are you able to log in? Piyush? Wonderful. Uh, Ravi, Rakesh ji, please, can you complete the quiz? So I can see like over here, zero completed. All these names, in fact, because this is a limited version, tool. So that's the reason I've just used four people over here. Can you, all of you, please respond to the quiz?
So are we supposed to start?
Yeah, yeah, please, 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 go ahead. Those who have received the email, please do it. Okay, so Tanya has responded. Yes, I can see like So I can't see like players have joined this particular activity because this is inactive. So player, unless you join this activity, I will not see as you as participating in this.
Sir, I have already responded.
But you need to join this activity. You must have received some prompt related to it. I think like you must have received something like join my quiz notification, right?
Yes, sir. In my email ID, we received it.
Yeah, yeah. But it should reflect over here because I cannot see over here.
Yeah.
So players didn't join this activity. That's the reason it's responding me like this.
There's one question which I answered, and then it's asking me to share one image. So I just have posted some thank you image.
Okay. I can see two participants have given the
Check.
correct answer and two participants have given the wrong answer. So it's 50% accuracy over here,
Okay.
right? Overview I can see. So points like, maybe I don't know why it is showing like this. Maybe like we need to have a complete quiz. That's the reason that it's not showing anything over here. So you can also get scores points over here. So 50% people have attended it right. And there is a feedback section over here. So I think this is not operational right now. We haven't received any ratings yet, right? And this with the participants. So I think like because of the limited version of this particular tool, that's the reason we are not getting many things over here. But obviously, when you get the full-fledged version of quizzes, you will see that the accuracy given over here. You will get the points, you will get the score, and everything over here, right? And that's how you can people get excited about like how much somebody has scored on a particular question. So you can see like this is still running, and if I want to in fact just stop it, I can put an end to this. And do you want to end the session? Yes. So it will end the session. Now you can see over here, some once I've ended the session, I have got 50% accuracy, 100% completion, four participants, and there was only one question, right? Now it is showing me over here. For Ravi, it's showing 100% accuracy, one by one. Score is 600, right? I can evaluate it. Then Piyush is showing like 100%, 880 score, right? You can also like create this, delete, expand, email to the participant, and etc. Similarly, for Mrinalini and Tanya, it's showing like zero, so score and everything is given over here. So this is how like it's a kind of a gamification, right? So you can see like a simple quiz has been transformed into something kind of a game, right? Am I making sense to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no? All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So I will appreciate, in fact, if you go back today and look something into this, like the quizzes. It's a very interesting gamification tool, right? This will definitely, in fact, interest your students. It will engage them more, uh, and they will find it more interesting also. Another tool that I wanted to show it to you is I'll just run a particular. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me. And my apologies for my video. It could not be open up because of the problem. Uh, I'm just showing you one particular navigation tool is EXE learning, right? This is also like people often use, and there are a number of tools that you can use, but some tools are paid tools, so you have to pay some premium amount to it in order to get access to all the things. So this is like, EXE learning, and you can download it from, it's freely available. There is nothing like, you have to pay for EXE learning, right? You can download the Microsoft version, you can download the Windows version, or the MacBook version or Mac version, etc. Right? Now, this is also like, something like a gamification tool. And I'll just show you some basic functions over here. So you can have some projects over here. You can have some templates if you have designed, like, let's say, quiz or etc. Right? You have like, certain styles, like, given over here, what style you want to choose. Let's say, like, we want to create, let's say, like a quiz game, right? And you can do multiple things over here. You can have text, you can have activity, you can have case study. That can also be gamified, right? So you can just import a case study, you can give it to your student, and then you can gamify it, and they will make use of it. So right now, I'm just showing it to you. It's a quiz activity, right? So create activities in which students are given a definition, and they have to guess the word that starts with the letter, contains a letter, or contains a letter. Uh, Instructions, options, word. So let's say, like, the word is, let's say, gamify. So gamify does not start with letter A. So it's warning me. So maybe I need to use something like, letter A, for example, right? So action oriented definition, learning that practical activity. Okay. Then I can use multiple words over here till in fact to the point. I can go to the home button from here, and then I can click, in fact, and I can create a quiz for the students, right? So maybe, like, you can type all the words over here. If you want to delete something, you can here. So you can create a quiz out of it by using, in fact, different A to Z quiz game. So let's say, like, you are a communication teacher, right? And you want to have a quiz game which requires people to find synonyms, or maybe defining meaning of particular word. So you can do this, in fact, a quiz game. Then you can have, something like challenge, for example. So you can give some challenging exercise to students. You can write descriptions over here, right? And you can it allows you to use all the word format which possibly right? And then you can assign this assignments to your students, right? And they will get, in fact, their feedback, etc. Once you give them this per assignment, right? So a lot of things over here. You can do multiple choice questions. You can give, in fact, a PDF files, for example, like you want to show them a movie, and you want to teach something like motivation, for example, like leadership through some video, right? And you want your students to take up that particular video assignment or exercise, and then they have to respond to that. So you can use all this, in fact, different options given over here for games, right? So this is like, a very interesting software, or rather, I can say it is a gamification tool which people use, but many people don't know about it. Um, so this is one thing that you can, use it, right? So just download it. In fact, whenever you have time, it's not possible for, me to do everything, because, we did something extensively, the Harvard publishing, simulation. And the second one that we did was the quizzes, right? So you can find out more tools like that, which would be more meaningful and engaging for your students in the classroom learning, right? And definitely, once you will uh, run such kind of exercises in the classroom, you'll find that, the students would start feeling more interested, the attention would get back, They would love to come back to the class because there's a new way, or there's a new way that you have evolved to engage them, right? So make use of these tools. So that is what I can say. And there are many other tools, like, for example, like we did something on quizzes. Then you have Edmodo is also very interesting software, right? A tool rather, you can say, which is obviously it's linked to, you can link it to Google Classroom or Google. Then you have Kahoot is there, you have Prodigy is there, but this is generally for K-12 education. Quizzes is something that I would request you people to use. In fact, in your future classroom interaction with the students, right? And Edmodo can also be used. In fact, it's something very similar to quizzes. So you have to create accounts for all of this. Some of them are like free accounts, so Edmodo won't charge you, but for the premium account, there is some charge, some dollars are charged for the the premium account of Edmodo, and the same is for quizzes. That won't cost you anything because that's a free software that you can download for different versions, Microsoft and Mac version, right? So this is from my side. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Please
Sir, I
share the
have a
name of.
question.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, sir. My name is Dr. Priyanka Dwivedi. Thank you for that very interesting session. The Harvard Business Publishing education that you show, that is primarily case studies for management students. Is there something similar for law students, sociology students, where they can also use gamified learning like case studies, cases, etc.?
Uh, for Oh, wonderful. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for asking that particular question. I can share you some resources. For law students, I think, like, you can use the case laws, but I don't think like that's similar to what Harvard Business Publishing Education actually publishes. So case laws can be used. So case laws can be drawn from various websites like India Qanun, or maybe like, Supreme Court, Judice, and etc. And Simulation, I'm not very sure whether such simulations are available for law students or not, but definitely you can check through the Harvard Business Publishing education. They have different segmentation of, like, the disciplines, for example, like management. They may have something related to non-management also. So you just need to check it out, and maybe you can also look out for Ivy publishing halls, which may have something related to what you're interested into.
Sure, sir. I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, ma'am. Welcome. Yeah. I was sharing, in fact, the resources with Matika madam, and in turn, she will send it back to you. But I hope, like, this had been, the session had been, of some use to you people, and maybe in future you can explore more and try to, utilize it for your interactive learning, and making use of this gamification tool. Latika ma'am, this is from my side, and if anybody has any question, then I can take it up. Can you hear me, Natika ma'am? Oh, Shefali ma'am, you asked something like, please share the name of tool again. I didn't get the question, ma'am. Can you please tell me what exactly, or tool you're saying? Okay, I'll just type. It's something called as EXE Learning. Yeah. So it's a software that you can download freely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a software that you can download freely, and it doesn't have any cost to it. But an interesting one to explore for future, teaching learning process, especially through games and interactive activities. Thank you so much, Natika ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I'm so sorry for my, the video issue.
No, not a problem, sir.
I was traveling, and today only I came back from my native town, and I had a delay of flight and a lot of things were there, so I could not use the other laptop. I thought like this one is working perfectly well, and hence I encountered this problem.
No, no, not a problem, sir. Yes,
So my apologies
yeah,
for it.
not a problem, sir. It's okay. So, sir, you are
So
done
I'll
with the
stop
session.
sharing.
Participants, any queries? Hello, participants, any queries?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any questions for sir to be answered? Okay, so I guess there are no queries. I have posted the feedback link again in the chat box. Participants, please fill the feedback. So with this, we come to the end of day 2 of our 6 days FDP program. We thank Dr. Ritesh on behalf of St. Francis Institute of Management and Research and MTC Global for such a wonderful and enriching session. I hope the participants have gained a lot of new tools to use in their teaching learning process. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation
Thank you once
and be
again,
a
Natika
resource
ma'am.
person today.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Natika ma'am, for this opportunity. I'm very grateful to you.
Our pleasure, sir.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Bye now. Bye, everyone. Take care. In case if you need anything, Latika ma'am has my number and contact number and email
Yes.
ID. I
Sure,
would
sir.
love to, in fact,
Sure, sir.
be in touch with you. Fine. Thank
Sure,
you
sir.
so much. Have a nice day. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Participants, we have stopped, we deactivated the Google Sheet to edit your certificate details, the organization name, and your participants' editing rights, since the time limit was up to 1 p.m. today. And for today's recording and even the recording and the notes, if given by the resource person, will be shared with you all by on your registered email ID.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So
Ma'am,
we
please
meet
share
tomorrow.
the feedback link again, because I think it's got lost in the course of the
So I
chat.
have posted again, if you can see.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank
much.
you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. Fine. So with this, we end our today's session. But however, there is a practice session as per our schedule. So I request everyone to kindly wait back. You can take a break of 5-10 minutes, and I request everyone to kindly remain connected. So y'all can do the practice session of the various tools which was being done by the various resource person in these 2 days. So y'all can practice the tools, and if any queries, y'all can mail us so that it can be addressed by them. Because based on these tools, last day the quiz would also take place. So please, we request everyone to kindly take a quick break of 10 minutes and remain connected. So 3:45, you all can do the various practice tools.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. We request everyone to kindly practice the various tools which is being done in these 2 days by the resource person. Please practice. We are there to resolve any query if there is. Attendance would be marked for this session as well. I hope you all are practicing.
Practicing.
Okay. Yes, Piyush sir, it's a practice session. Rahima ma'am, all the tools, whatever is possible for you to practice till today, what was being done by the resource person. Okay. I hope y'all are done with the practice. Anyone, any doubt, any queries? Okay, with this, then we end our today's session. And tomorrow we meet at 10:30 for our session, for our day 3 program.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Okay, with this, we end our meeting. Yeah, thank you all.